Still broadcasting from the Civic Cypher Studios. Welcome back to the QR Code, where we share perspective, seek understanding, and shape outcomes. The man you are about to hear from is the best person in the world, in my opinion, to explore a brand new city with. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend it. He is the Q in the QR Code. He goes by the name of Q Ward.
The voice you just heard is the person who I need to call every time I'm feeling not great, because he talked like that about me all the time. It'll get you right back on your square. He is the R in the QR Code. He goes by the name Ramses Ja.
Stick around. We got some more show coming your way. We are going to be talking about how airports, some airports at least, have stopped playing that partisan message from the Homeland Security Director that was very disturbing and law-breaking. And hopefully that is going to be a trend. But right now, we are going to hear from Q Ward for his clapback discussing the concerning young Republican leadership. Q, take it away.
You know, it's a really interesting thing, man. We have to live in a country where we are called radical for being anti-Nazi, for being anti-fascist, for being anti-dictator, for being anti-authoritarian. And while those in power preach to their Christian, and I said that in quotations, base, that all of the teachings of Jesus Christ, I guess, were wrong, because all the decisions that they make and all the policies that they're pushing are so anti what Christ's actual message was. It's an interesting thing that we've talked about with the right not pretending anymore. And we keep bringing up different things that kind of stay on that same message. And I've, in the past, tried to tackle different things when we clap back. But listeners that listen to us on a regular basis will notice that some things have to be revisited because they're so constant. And it's like we're getting the 2.0 version of something that we've already seen. So this young Republican Telegram chat leak, 28,000 messages. Racial slurs, misogyny, Holocaust jokes, right? Two words that should never be paired. References to gas chambers. One of these young Republican leaders references rape and calls it epic. Others praised slavery. Some even posting the neo-Nazi code 1488 like it was some joke in their frat house. This is unfortunately not some dark fringe group, right? If you listen to Civic Cypher, you know, Ramses sometimes dives into like these dark fringe right-wing extreme chat rooms to get an idea of what's being discussed, what's being talked about, how do their brains work. It's like undercover research I would never subject myself to, but a part of our journalistic journey is being as informed as possible, especially about those kind of things. This, however, is not that. This is not some dark fringe group. These are the state leaders of the young Republican movement, future candidates, current campaign staffers, and strategists. This is the private reality behind their public smiles. Family values in front of the cameras. Hate speech behind closed doors. As I've said over and over again, they've stopped pretending. So here we are, Rams. I have to echo sentiments, and I'd like to invite you into this clapback as a dialogue. I talked about how scary it should be that they no longer even bother to hide anymore, with the exception of the mask that their agents wear when they kidnap and abduct people with no due process and take them to places where their families and lawyers can't find them. How they feel, however, the rhetoric, the narrative, the vibes, the hate field, anti everyone positions that they hold. They used to pretend to be offended if we call them Nazi. Now they do Nazi salutes at inaugurations. I thought this movement approaching us was scary. The fact that it's here, the fact that they're no longer hiding it is terrifying. What say ye, my brother?
Obviously, it's disturbing. But what I think it does is I appreciate the aperture into young Republican culture because it validates what it is that you and I discuss. There are people that listen to our show that lurk on our social media that says, hey, you two make everything about race. You two are playing the victim. You black people in general play the victim. You two, we're in a post-racial society. Why don't you just drop all the race talk? And to be fair and to be clear, we don't go on the airwaves and say we don't like this race. We've never said, nor would we ever say anything like that, or we have an issue with this race or anything like that. There are no ideologies. There's no cultural references. There's none of that sort of things that paint a whole race in a certain way. And if it does, of course, it's not based in hatred or division, right? So what this does is it validates our perspective and our position, because for us being able to say like, yo, Republicans have a problem. One of the things that we said is like, listen, if you vote Republican, then you voted the same way that the Nazis voted and the white supremacists voted. The world that they wanted to live in is the world that you're voting for. And that should say a mouthful, but it doesn't always translate. And I think that this at least shows people exactly how toxic Republican culture is. And many people just have a willful blindness to it. So it's not a good thing, obviously. It's stuff that we well know, but the fact that it's been leaked, I think, validates to some degree what we've been saying. Moving on. This one is kind of a brighter story, I think. We have some dialogue about what's going on at the airports around the country. Now, to be fair, Q and I, we're constantly flying places. Q especially, because Q is at the airport constantly. It doesn't even matter if he's going somewhere, right? But we both are, I guess it's a good thing that we have reached this point in our career where we're like being desired all around the country like that. But one of the things that we've noticed in recent months, and if you're not a frequent flyer, if you haven't been on an airplane in some time, you might have missed this, but there have been these videos being played in airports around the country. And it's definitely reflective of Donald Trump's America. The director of the Homeland Security Agency is in all of the videos. And I don't think that's a new thing. I just think that this person has made it a point to be almost like very Trump-esque in their approach to governing the TSA, right, and Homeland Security. By that I mean very heavy-handed, very cruel, very divisive, and you get that feeling from the messages in the airports, right? I'm obviously I got to let Q talk about this a little bit more, but I'll share the article and let Q share what he knows. So this is from the Washington Post. Airports in more than half a dozen U.S. markets have declined to display a video in which Homeland Security Secretary person blames congressional Democrats for the government shutdown and any related travel delays, citing the political nature of its content, according to local authorities. Officials that oversee airports serving Buffalo, Charlotte, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Seattle, and Portland, Oregon, said the video could violate internal policies that bar political messaging or contravene state or federal laws that prohibit the use of public resources for political activity. Quote, we believe the Hatch Act clearly prohibits use of public assets for political purposes and messaging, unquote, said Molly Prescott, a spokesperson for the Port of Portland, which operates the Portland International Airport. Enacted in 1939, the Hatch Act bars federal employees from engaging in politics while on the job and is meant to ensure that federal programs are administered in a nonpartisan fashion. This Homeland Security person, their latest message was unusual because of its overtly partisan tone, some airline industry experts said. Quote, it is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible. This is according to the video. The statement goes on to say, and this is the individual in the video. I just don't want to say anybody's name. They don't deserve any credit from our show. This individual goes on to say, however, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government. And because of this, many of our operations are impacted, unquote. Message goes on to say, we will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government. So that was the message that was on screens in airports around the country. It's still on a lot of screens. These airports, I salute them because it shows that there can be pushback, that there is legal grounds for pushback, the Hatch Act. You don't have to just air this stuff, you know, and once people wake up, and if more people wake up and realize you don't have to, just because these people are avoiding or I guess failing to follow the law, doesn't mean that you have to follow their lead. You can still hide behind the law and be protected by the law. Now, this government is off the chain, but if you got the fortitude and the gall and I'm thinking of a word that says like you're brave and like unafraid, but if you're one of them ones, you know, stand up. I salute to, all these airports. I want to shout them out again. Buffalo, Charlotte, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Seattle, and Portland, Oregon. Saying, you know what, we're just not going to air that. Doesn't matter, it comes from the government. It's a violation of the law, and she's violating the law, but we're not going to violate the law. He's violating the law, but we're not going to violate the law. And if they have a problem with what we're doing, they need to send us something that doesn't violate the law, or they need to take us to court and sue for it. And I think that's the better approach than just rolling over and showing your belly to what is very obviously a biased and corrupt government that serves half the people and has criminalized the other half, calling people that don't think that this is the right way to be, this is the right way to govern, this is the right country we need to live in. They're painting us all as terrorists. Half of the country. Are you serious? So my thoughts, Q. The rest of the time is yours because I know that you got a lot more here than I do.
Don't believe that.
Okay, well then we'll share it. We'll share it.
I don't often have more than you because you are the journalist in this team. Your brother be mad and emotional.
Okay, I'll go with that.
And don't be caring about playing fair or being centrist or, giving both sides a shot. Like, nah, man, you have so much grace and patience and decorum and professionalism about yourself. You said that this new person might lean more Trump in the way that they govern and the way they run. No, this person was appointed by the man. She's a member of his cabinet. She's very Trump, not kinda, not slightly more, not leaning towards. No, her whole game is Trump. Her whole game is MAGA. That's all of their whole thing. It's not that she might lean maybe to, no. She that. And the video, I wish, Republicans, MAGA Republicans specifically, got as offended by those who they vote for, calling them stupid or treating them like they're stupid or doing things to prove to them that they think that they're stupid. I wish they got as offended by that as the people they didn't vote for, wanting to give them health care and access to food and access to education, because that really makes them mad. When the soft, woke, radical liberals try to give them health care and food and forgive their loans and give them access to free education and give them access to programs so that they don't have to be impoverished and they don't have to go without care, that really makes them mad. But when the people they do vote for treat them like, talk to them like, and refer to them as unsmart, uneducated, stupid people, doesn't bother them at all. So this woman gets on video and says the Democrats need to get the government back going, even though the Republicans are the majority in every branch of government and have the power to make every decision they want to without any Democratic input at all. And everyone knows this. And they just play in their faces, Rams. Like they treat them like they're dumb children. And they put on the hat and they cheer. I have never seen anything like it. I don't have more than you. I don't have much at all. It doesn't make any sense. None of it. How are these people in charge? How do they keep doing all the most corrupt and illegal stuff we've ever seen right in front of us? And everybody's kind of like, well, I guess there's nothing we can do but watch them do it. So bravo that somebody said, hey, man, we probably shouldn't do this. And a couple of those airports are not in blue states.
Yeah.
So somebody's waking up.
Yeah. And I think that's something. I don't even want to say that's not nothing. That's something. I appreciate people pushing back. Like, that's why it was so disappointing when Target just rolled over and died. Well, Trump's elected, we're getting rid of all of these promises that we made, all these programs to. It is the epitome of cowardice. And people that stand up against it are to be saluted, and we salute them. So with that in mind, that's going to do it for us here on the QR code. We appreciate you hanging out with us day after day, week after week. It really does matter to us. Today's show, as always, was produced by the great Chris Thompson. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share, please do us a favor. Use the red microphone talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. And while you're there, be sure to hit subscribe and download all of our episodes. Also, be sure to find us and follow us on all social media. We say it like everyone else. We say it consistently, but we actually mean it. It does make a difference, and we are trying to do something. And your support would go a long way. If you rock with what we're talking about, rock with us on social media too. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe, give us a like. You can also find me on all social media at RamsesJah.
I'm on some of the social medias. The ones that I'm on, I am Q Ward.
And be sure to join us next time as we share our news with our voice from our perspective right here on the QR code. And until then, peace.
Peace.